Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters who have joined today's seminar. Pleasure having you on board. Yeah, still so much covered. Uh, there is obviously few comments that I have as well. I will raise my hand
Okay.
at the same time, but I always like to give preference to others because I can jump in anytime. Thanks to my job that I have. Thank you, Jazbhai. Are we ready to?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm fine.
Ji.
I will also discuss that the coming of the messenger Jesus or Isa, which Brother Lionel has commented in our forum today.
Right. Sure. Ji. So let's. Hamas, how are you?
I'm doing good, Alhamdulillah.
Good, good, good. Go ahead, sir. Jazbhai is waiting. Please go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead. If there is a
Thank
question,
you, sir, for
comment.
the presentation. Okay, so my question is regarding crime and punishment according to Quranic laws. Can you hear me, sir? All
Yes,
good?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for
a
coming.
few days ago, thank you, sir. A few days ago, a girl, 17-year-old girl, got raped in Pakistan by a group of few men, and she died after reaching the hospital. So the intention of those men wasn't to kill her, but to rape her, and she lost her life. So we have gone through the verse 177. I believe if your intention is not to kill that person, you will be respite by diyat, right? So
No.
those men, okay,
The yet is where there is no premeditated murder. Because in this
okay,
case, it is premeditated.
okay. So to be clear, those men who raped that woman, their intention was only to rape her, but she lost her life. Will those men will get the punishment of judicial killing equal to a death sentence or any other punishment?
That will be really for the court to decide. Firstly, this case is a non-Islamic case, right? This is not a Quranic society Pakistan has. But from a man-made systems point of view, this will be up to the court that to decide that whether it was a premeditated murder, inverted commas, or not. And they will decide that this woman has died because of this reason, right? Obviously, there is a reason of sexual perversion included in this. And then there is even a more case of that will come up, that why society is like that, why these men are like that, what kind of a psyche they have, what contributed to their brought up. And so the issue of reformation and all those issues will fall into it. So from Quranic point of view, as and when the system comes into shape, then they will decide over there that what were the circumstances which created such a situation that these men are product of the system, isn't it?
Right, right. So
There are families behind them, that what kind of a families brought those children up. There was a case over here in the UK where a 2-year-old, I think toddler, was killed. Couple of boys who were young, 10 or 11, they took him to, very famous case, Brother Iftikhar might remember him.
The Bulger case.
Yes, and they killed that boy, and then the whole country was hue and cry that why did it happen? And some of the glimpses of that case came up that they came from broken families, those children. So
dysfunctional families.
A dysfunctional family, yes.
But don't you think, sir, even if there is Islamic State, there might be few atheists living who don't believe in law of requital and afterlife and psychopath and all that people we see in movies mostly who are mentally retarded. These cases will arrive in the Islamic government, and they would need to create policy and punishment regarding these matters
Yes,
for a short term,
for a
not
short
for
term,
a
these will be because, as I said earlier in my presentation, that this all systems go through a transitory phase, and during that transitory phase, we will have to make laws through mutual consultation and take it into account. And the court will also take it into account, the contributing factors
right,
to any crime. For example, what will come out of this heinous crime? This is a very, should I say, a very bad crime, and but it reflects on the society, that what kind of a society we have formed. Because in our societies, in fact, all societies of the world, there is hardly any training, education on the issues of sexual perversion.
right,
So this is the
right.
problem.
So
This is the problem. The brains over there are basic savage brains, animalistic brains, which have choice and intent and tremendous power, particularly people who possess a lot of money. They can do whatever they like. And they can
right, so,
get away with that as well. Just see what abductions take place, and kidnappings, and
right. So we can
then
say whatever the policy will be in the future, we got the permanent values.
yeah,
One is there is no compulsion in deen, so you cannot force anyone. But at the same time, there is free will, so you cannot make someone your slave or exploit someone. And there is another thing that are the social crimes you commit, and you have to get the punishment. So we have these few permanent values. On the basis of that, we can on practical levels introduce the punishments
yes, yes.
on that
The thing
time.
is, the education and training will be absolutely 100% part of the syllabus in that society. All media will be used. There will be classes night and day. Initially, it will be a revolution taking place in that part of the earth, where people will be 24/7 told what are their rights, what are the rights and duties of the responsibility of the state, what is Quran saying, what kind of human being we want you to become. It will be like a the whole motivation will be taking place, and telling that don't bring these children into world unless you are become this kind of parents. All these children, like these men who raped this poor human being, they have come from some family. and
Exactly.
and
They, I mean,
most of
they got
most of
their
these
mother
children most of these children are unplanned. They are a product of that short-time player. And what
right,
kind of training we have in our societies about the law of requital is virtually zero. So,
right,
so if people are not warned, how are you going to punish them? Quran says you must warn the people first.
right. So
So
personally,
this
do you think the punishment of rape should be death sentence? Like, frankly speaking, just
Death sentence
like
can be death sentence. Quran does say about death sentence, but it should be a very, very exceptional cases.
exceptional. And a woman can kill the person if they are trying to rape her on that moment. Is
In
it
self defense, everything is permitted.
right? Right. Just
But
like
again,
Karl Marx.
again, I said that see, our difficulty on as students of the Quran is that, since complete picture is not yet laid out in front of us conceptually, and there is no model in the world, we have to go to the man-made system and try to, extrapolate it into the system of Deen. System of Deen is totally different from the man-made system. In the system of Deen, it is the human psyche which is the addressee of the system. The physical side comes after it. That is, first we look at the human psyche, that what kind of nation we want. That is why Quran says that the state of a nation does not change unless the state of their psyche changes.
Right.
You get my point? So psychology is the one which the human psyche has. Thoughts must change first. Why should they change the thoughts? Because we have to tell them that the man-made system, the thoughts under man-made system are substandard, animalistic. You need a higher level of thoughts which can take you beyond this physical life. And then we have to explain to them psychologically what kind of joys and pleasures are associated with changing those thoughts.
Right. So far, we all agree that for a long term, the education is required and the repetition to develop yourself. Even in Japan, it has been 4 years. There is no case of crime regarding robbery because the poverty is very less there, almost zero. So nobody gets the urge to rob somebody because they don't need to do that, right? So when there will be the Deen, of course we will be managed to tackle all these situations, but for a short term we would come up to create policies for that to control that crime in a transition period.
There's a lot of crime. You will be surprised even in the West, wherever there are crimes. It's not that the government is not aware of it. The government permits some level of crime as well, just to create fear among people.
Right.
You can't. How can police justify their existence if there is no crime? So whatever is going on in the world, let me tell you, whatever goes on in Pakistan, the people at helm of affairs know exactly what is happening. Remember one thing: these human beings who are managing the affairs of this world, wherever there is a problem, you will find a human hand behind it. And wherever there is a solution, you will find a human hand behind it.
Right, because nature doesn't do injustice. I mean, because the laws are set for the justice. Natural forces are there for the growth, not to cause problem. Because if there is problem, there is the hand of human. Right,
and
I
the
get
system of Deen initially will let people know, warn everyone, make sure, everyone. They should send a letter to every house and make sure that they have received it and tell them that this is the duty of this system. And these are your rights and duties. So that both are at the same plane. And then they should be reminded again and again so that when somebody commits a crime, and their needs must be met. Once their needs are met and the system knows that their system needs are met, then they have no reason to commit a crime. And then if they commit a crime, then they should be confronted with that crime and ask them, why did you do it?
Right. So I have concluded from whatever you have said is that when there will be Islamic State, they will have all the statistics and every stream of source, why it's happening, how it's happening, and they will be able to make a policy. And just like Karl Marx said in his book, for the communist, when there will be communism and there will be problem for jobs, so that generation will decide how to tackle that problem because they will have the facts and figures in front of them and they will be more intelligent than us because they will be next generations. So same goes with the Islamic government. When there will be problems, the next generation will tackle them. This is not our headache at this point.
No, we are, see, the efforts on this system, on this platform are very simple. Our effort is to educate and train our individual self.
Right.
And once we have acquired that kind of iman, which the Quran says we should be very clear that we have acquired it, then we will see that by virtue of having that iman, we would desire to join those who are on this platform for the system of Deen, if we have heard about it. we come and join it, and then we say that we will remain on this path and cover the whole of the Quran as a system of deen, whether deen is established in the meantime or not. If deen is established by somebody else, let's say in some part of the earth, and we will know it. It's
It
not
can be
that
Indonesia.
it will descend from nowhere and suddenly some jinn will come and do it. No. And logically, that system, then we can go and join them. But there is no likely chance of anyone else doing this kind of an effort in the light of the Quran because they haven't understood the Quran in the first place. And this is my personal experience of talking to numerous people and listening to numerous people. So once the power comes in our direction, so we are now preparing ourselves that when the first day of this system starts, this is how we will gradually and step by step we will proceed. Man-made laws will remain in place for a while, and then gradually these will be changed.
Yes.
So it is a very slow transitory process initially, because efforts in system of deen is to make people think freely and then decide that if they were happy with the previous system or they want a new system which is put forward by the Quran. Give them a choice and let them make a choice over a period of time. Some will reject, obviously, initially, who are the beneficiary of that system, but gradually they will realize that this new system is much better, because they will see that what kind of worries and problems they inherited under man-made systems. Man-made system, even rich people don't sleep peacefully at night because they are
Right.
always scared of the majority of people in the world whose wealth they have accumulated in their house and their pockets.
Right. Even Elon Musk consumes the pills of anxiety.
So this is the
Sure.
situation.
Thank you both, Gigi.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
go
Let's,
to
Brother Iftikhar, I think Amjad raised his hand.
That's right. That's right. Amjad Bhai, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Sorry,
How are you?
Amjad. Sorry. The thing prolonged because I think Hamas raised a very good example of. I don't
Yeah,
want to repeat it because it's too painful. But
no, I think it was a valid point, and my question was in a similar line what Hamas
okay,
raised. One of the things that you give an example about is Japan. Their children, right from the early age, are given the education and training, if my memory serves me right, and that's why that society has are a lot better than comparison to others. So, like you say, education and training is must. And a lot of these people that do commit crime, they come from a family where there is no education training. And even well-off family, if they don't have that moral education training, they will too commit crimes. But until that system is in place, we're gonna see these things happening. My question, I think, was more around when does it become necessary to kill? Because one thing we said is to save a life is like as if you're saving a mankind. So, what does that mean? When will this? I know as an individual we want, but obviously when the society or system is established, what are the steps to say this is now an extreme measure we need to take?
it is. I think it will be. It will be the circumstances and decisions will be for through mutual consultation. The law will be formulated. And because Quran has taken an extreme position in the case of murdering a woman. In the case of woman, it says absolutely no chance of reprieve in this life or in the hereafter. So that means somebody should know that he or she is a woman. Because if somebody is so uncomfortable with a woman, and we all know that how long it takes to become a woman. So that is a huge investment by an individual to become a moment and raise his level of ominence. Because essentially, for example, Messenger Yusuf was a moment. and see if he was killed by his brothers, who were obviously, whatever you can call them, they had evil design against him. How big harm would have been done to humanity which benefited through him. So that is one position. As far as the other murder is concerned, that is premeditated murder. There are always, even premeditated murders in today's world, we can see there are contributing factors. So society has to take that into account. Secondly, as I have read out today, that if we see some hope of reformation in that individual, then we can always, because remember, the system of deen is in full power on behalf of Allah. It should never be scared of leaving a criminal and giving him reprieve in case we find that there is some hope of reformation. Because Quran says once you accept Iman, for example, La taqnatu min rahmatullah, that everything which you have done in the past as a non-Muslim, non-Mu'min, non-Muttaqi can be overlooked. Because it's a one-way street, we don't come back. So all of this will be decided by the Jamaat-e-Mu'mineen who are managing the affairs of that system. But it will never be in revenge. Because Allah is not revengeful. Because Allah whom we are following, we have to look at his attribute, and we also look at his being Ghafur and Rahim, his being Sami'ul Basir, his being Rahman and Rahim. So all these attributes are there to guide us. So circumstances at that point will decide. It will not be a blank death penalty that whoever comes, you just hang him. Death, the taking of life will be in a very, very rare case. Absolutely rare case.
So can I just ask one more
where there is no hope and there is no possibility of some individual being able to come out of it. And remember, people around, gradually a stage will come in that piece of land where human beings will not be existing at a biological level. They will be existing at the level of uniting of hearts through Iman. What kind of tolerance that system will have, and how will that system recognize the importance of individual life? So that we should keep in mind.
So one more question, if I may ask.
Does that answer your question?
No, that's perfect. That's clarity. I think we're on the same page here.
Yeah, Amjad, go ahead. Ijaz bhai, please keep the answer short as others are waiting. Thank you.
So one final question is, if we were in a government and we had to deal with Israel, what will be our position?
That's a very good question, because if there was a Jamaat-e-Mu'mineen in place, for example, if Palestine, you remember before British took over, that whole land was under Ottoman Empire. And if Ottoman Empire was following the Quran, we wouldn't have faced this problem today. So wherever there is absence of Jamaat-e-Mu'mineen, the cancer will erupt. These are the cancers of human society, where chaos, conflicts, wars, murders, gangsters appear. And if we do proper hygiene and proper diet and do proper exercise in the physical world, then, and if Jamaat-e-Mu'mineen is there, these problems gradually disappear. And for example, in today's world, I always look at various people in podcasts, and I've never ever seen anyone, even this Professor Mirandi from Iran, never ever quoting from the Quran. Never. Nothing quoted from the law of requital. What does the Quran say? What is the value of human life? And never ever anyone saying that why do you want to kill other human beings when you are going to die in any case at some point in the future? These all Gulf states, they all have Quran in their homes. And this verse, which is given, I've quoted today, that who killed one man, he killed as if the whole mankind. And these people are all abetting in this murder of others. And they follow all these rituals as well. If you talk to them, they will say Alhamdulillah, and they will talk to them, they will say Inshallah, MashaAllah as well. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. That is peace on you. So this is the state of the world. Because Quran goes for prevention. But for that prevention, it doesn't say that you should use the force wrongly. For example, I was going through one verse yesterday, I think from Surah Al-Hajj. And there is a verse, I think 40th, Surah Al-Hajj. Sorry, Iftakhar bhai, I'm not keeping my answer short because this is Quran and Quran keeps expanding like bir. The Quran says, Ozina lillazina yuqatiluna bi annahum zolimu. O inna Allaha ala nasrihim la qadir. That you are given permission to fight now because injustice has been done. So when an injustice is done to you, and if you're strong enough as a Jamaat-e-Mu'mineen, you must stand up. This is verse 39. And then in verse 40th, Quran says, Allazina ukhriju min diyarihim. So all of these Palestinians, they have been turned out of their homes. And they all call themselves Muslims. And these people all read this Quran and study this. Nobody quotes this verse. So this is the problem of earning sawab from Allah's book by reciting it. This is a book of life and death. This gives you life. Once we go through these verses, it gives us life. And if I have acquired life, then I will understand the importance of life in fellow human beings. So this is the position we have.
So this is not only injustice to us, but also injustice to any human being. When the system is established, it's our firm duty to prevent that. And then, because now you're in a war and they don't, they keep persisting this, and I think that's where we are given an option to go out and kill them wherever you find them.
Fight against them, I'll say.
Fight against them, but
because in that fighting as well, there are very precise laws. Quran says when the enemy ceases to fight, then you also stop. Even if they have ceased fighting with a view to take some advantage. But you don't worry, Allah is with you.
No, I agree. And I'm saying here, if they stop, that's fine. But if they persist, you are given that option. Go out and fight or kill them if necessary, because they are not this persisting with the evil action, which is impacting not just one person.
The issue of this Middle East is, which all of us on this platform should understand. I'm sure all of us must be thinking on those lines, that there are certain human beings who are already in that land. If there is another powerful nation wants to displace them, then where are these human beings going to go? Some arrangements should be made for their displacement. And Quran has very clearly said that first you turn these people out of their homes and then you resort to charity to help them and bring them back. Whereas you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And those who do like this, what is in it for them? Humiliation in this life and nothing in the hereafter. So unless we take into account our life in the hereafter at self's level, we simply cannot follow the Quran. We simply cannot even understand the Quran. So this is the point which we should keep in mind, that Quran as a system can only be understood by those who understand the importance of their own life at self's level in this world and its link with the life of the hereafter. If I don't want any life in the hereafter, which is explained in the Quran, I've quoted a verse today, then essentially this book is not for me. And if anyone who is reading this book and discussing it day and night on this platform, all of us must understand that these people are wasting their time, because the results which are associated with the Quran, they will never get them in this life. And if they don't get that self-development which the Quran is putting forward, then there's no possibility of another life in the hereafter. So this is a very strict standard. It's not made by me. This is what I've understood from the Quran. And how did I understand it? By following this path of individual self-development and the changes which brought within me. I've looked at that changes and those manifestations in the outer world and come to this conclusion that I could never, ever would have been able to bring those changes, alteration in my bir, we call it, without the Quran. And you also know it when we met 4 or 5 years ago, remember?
Yes.
You remember?
Yeah.
So let us not get away. This is for every one of us who are on this platform. Let us not be scared of it. It's not a matter of becoming fearful. It is a matter of understanding the importance and value of our own self, inner self, which has certain latent potentials which need to come out in the light of the Quran. And unless we bring those out, we cannot find an answer. Nobody can make me understand. They can let me know that this is what it is, but the effort has to come from my own side. Sorry using word understand. What I mean is, if I have to understand what others are saying, then I have to bring a change within my own self. So to bring out those latent potentials. For example, understanding, Hamas mentioned that poor human being who died because of physical harm. When he was describing that, I could feel that pain which he must have gone through. And I could also see the problem with the system. And I could also see that what it meant to Allah, who was witnessing it and did not do any direct intervention. Because his question was to me and all of us, that if you don't create this system, these poor ladies will suffer. The yatim and miskeen will suffer. So, does it send a shiver through my body? Yes. What should I do about it? Keep following the path. Keep following it. If people join in, fine. If they don't, keep doing it. Do you see now the difference between the others just see it and they become annoyed and these men should be hanged? It's not a question of hanging these men. It's the system which has given birth to these men. It is the system which has brought this poor lady into this world. We should go and ask her parents, why did they bring her into this world? Why did they get married? What was so missing in their life? Didn't they see the word around them that why should they bring this child into this world where those women are going to be raped? And even if they get married, they are going to get married for sexual pleasure of these men, to bring some more human beings into this life, unguided, non-Quranic. So this opens up a whole Pandora's box.
But it is then the system that can prevent injustice.
Yes.
This is the point. If you say this is happening to Palestine and let them move to somewhere else, then you giving them more opportunities. They're not going to stop. They will carry on committing until there is a system to stop them.
No, but initially you have to give them place. Those who migrate from a bad
That is fine.
piece of land, like the messenger himself migrated from Mecca to Medina to save his life.
Not only that, they went to Medina because they wanted to welcome him because they understood the system. Now, what I'm saying here is, you cannot stop this crime until you have that a control put in place, a system put in place, who will stand up against these evil powers. And when a system happens, it is system responsibility to defend mankind.
No, Amjad bhai, I know what you're saying. The point to understand on this platform is to, before we make that system, we have to get power from Allah,
But that is the point.
who has
To get
created
the
you
to
and
get the
me
power.
and uninvitedly sent us into this world with choice and intent and with his book.
Ijaz bhai, what are we doing? We are training ourselves to
Yes.
become muttaqeen, to be
To
becoming our. We just one second. This is all the steps. But what I'm looking at, and my question
no, you
was,
missed one point. To get power from Allah.
let me explain. Once we get the power from Allah, or wherever we establish, it is the system's responsibility to defend mankind against these evil powers.
No,
This is the
before
point.
that system has to gain power like a seed, gradually grow, become powerful, become a nuclear power, get all the ships and missiles and everything.
You're looking
Exactly what Iran has done. And then come out and say, now if any human child is treated badly in the world, we will deal with it.
So it is a system, ultimate established system. And without, look, system cannot defend themselves without armies, without, nuclear weapons. Like you can't.
No.
So I'm saying is once that is established, it is their responsibility to look after mankind from all these
Yes.
oppression. Anyway,
Until that time, we should also be clear on this platform. There will be a lot of pain, lot of misery, lot of, I'll not say fear. We should have never have any fear once we have come to the Quran. But we have to have a lot of patience, steadfastness, and never get bored on this platform.
no, the challenge is going to be there. And there are going to be up and down.
So once we have, this is what I've quoted today, this verse which says that once you hold on to Allah's rope, then that rope will take you where you want to go, because now it is Allah's responsibility to take us there.
No, I
Thank you.
think
Thank you, gentlemen.
responsibility is on us.
Amjad
What
bhai.
we do. Don't record to the inshallah or Allah ne chaya to nahi hoya. No, it is our responsibility to take these steps. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's
No, thank you very much for
what I.
allowing me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Amjad bhai. Sister Tahira, please, it's
Yes,
your turn.
Dr.
Sister
Tahira.
Tahira.
जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम बहन. Sorry, लंबा हो गया मसला.
Not at all. The way Amjad Bhai was asking the question, and then you mentioned Hazrat Ibrahim was a ummah in himself, and then he left the place where there was no deen, and to establish the deen. But at that time, but my understanding is there were pieces of land nobody occupied, and he could go to Makkah, establish the house of Allah and all that. But suppose some people get that understanding and power and everything. I don't see, or I can't imagine any piece of land where where like Ibrahim took his family over there. It can be established, because with the present technology and the Iblis is so powerful that if all the countries through satellite they see everything, and you're like, is it like Amjad Bhai, I'm also restless. Of course it's very painful to see happening to these other human beings, and reading Quran and then not being able to do anything.
I agree. But Tahira, the thing is, have you got this point, which I keep repeating more or less in every presentation, that the process
Yes.
to see, we want power from Allah, right? We have volunteered
And Allah
ourselves.
is going to give power to the people who stand up, who
And
do.
He's
I mean, I
going to give
understand.
power. He's promised that those who become my companion, I will give them power. And the formula for that he has explained in verse 55 of Surah Nur. That once you have Iman and do solid deeds and keep doing it, then power will come in your direction. When it comes, it's not your problem. So in today's world of 8 billion people, it is not your and my problem, should I say that?
सही है
It is his problem whose companions we claim to be. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So this is where, and what I'm saying is now all of us who are on this platform at the moment and haven't got bored and left, we should keep it in mind that are we really fully committed to this path up to our death? And are we fully convinced that Allah is with us?
Yes, definitely. We
I
are.
know.
I mean, you see, at our stage of life, if the kids are on their way, I have no other purpose of my life. I mean, and I am more than 100% want to be committed, and whatever my life, my wealth, my life, my house, where I am ready to, as soon as the system is established, ready to give all that, and either I die and go to next life, or if I'm alive, I enjoy that, that system, as Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Usman, whatever they had, they brought to that. I want to do that in my lifetime.
Oh, that is very nice, and thank you very much. Because the point all of us have to understand is first that this Quran is from Allah. And I think we are now fairly confident that it is from Allah who has created the universe in which we are sharing this presentation. Now, secondly, he says that those who have come together in this, they have rejected the man-made system despite being the beneficiary, and they are not happy with this system, and they want to get power in the land to solve the problems what Hamas mentioned today, and of course problems like that, and Palestinian issue and others as well. So that means we should make sure that education and training which we are getting is according to the Quran. For example, today we have covered those aspects which are 100% belong to the system of Deen. Why did we go through it? Because we have to expand our vision, expand our consciousness, that bare thing, with a view to understand what will be coming in our direction once the system is established. And we will know where to find these verses in the Quran, because it is a legal document from Allah. It is His laws and values given in it, in which we have to be able to refer to it, just like lawyers. Lawyers go through all these previous even cases, others. They're able to search and then go to that and then plead their case before a judge. And the judge has to go through all the legal finer aspects and that of every case. They don't remember everything, but they have all the books available to them. Similarly, this book and the books written by Allama Pervez and all of these slides which we are creating step by step will be available to us in the future. So this is something which we should. Now, the next point which was raised in last Sunday, that what will be the time scale? Now, once we come out of the biological time or the serial time, now we are into a divine scale of time. And divine scale of time is, Quran says that you keep treading on this path and studying the system of Deen, whatever intellect and information available to you, by comparing it with the man-made system all the time, and then keep proceeding till the time you finish the Quran, just like the Messenger of Allah finished the Quran. The revelation stopped and the system was established. The same formula is available to us. So we got a long way to go before we fulfill our side of duty. And let's say it might take another 5 to 10 years. So at the end of 10 years, the word of 20, let's say 36 will be probably quite a different word than the word which we have. And Quran says then power will come in your direction, and because if you're following the formula, so that means some signs will start appearing nearer the time. So our duty is to stick to the Quran, stick to this platform, Go away and keep thinking all the time that I am on this path and I'm not going to give up this path of Allah. And I want power in the land. Every day we should get up in the morning and tell ourselves, I want power in the land, hence I'm going to stick with the Quran.
Inshallah.
And then come back every Sunday, 4 o'clock. As and when we have this, we should come here and keep discussing it in our question answer session to convince ourselves. Because once we discuss it, it reinforces our own iman. Because, for example, I have publicly committed to every one of you that I am on this path, this is my outlook, I want power, I want to put in my full effort with all of you so that we can get power before my death, for example. So this is the kind of line of motivation we should have. I hope it motivates
Agreed.
you.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah.
That's my point. No, we have gone out of our biological relationship. We are now into a different kind of relationship, which only, as they say, gorilla glue is very good. So Quranic glue is very strong, infinitely strong.
Ji, thank you, Ben. Ji,
Hey, can I, Brother Iftikhar, before you raise the question, because Brother Lionel might have to leave early. And I want to address that issue of Messenger Isa coming back.
so please, Brother Lionel.
The Quranic position, the concept which he shared with on that seminar group, that is a sectarian Islam's version, or Christian version, or Judaism's version. That is not Quranic version. Quran has very clearly said that whoever has left this life, he is not going to come back, period. So there is no Dajjal, there is no Messenger Isa, no Messiah coming back. Allah, or should I say, it is you and me have to sort out our world as long as we are living. And once we are gone, then the human beings who are coming in succession, and Quran calls them Khalifa, it will be their responsibility to do it, or in whatever part of the world they are making an effort. Because Quranic system is established through human hands. And all these messengers were human beings. And their model is given in the Quran. So all Quran is asking is that now no more messenger is coming because his book is complete. And we have checked so far that this book is complete, or appears to be complete. So it has everything to establish a system. It has everything to get the help of Allah's laws. So from hereafter, and these verses will come before us under Surah Al-Imran in chapter 3. These things are discussed over there. The verses which these sectarian Muslims or others say that some of these verses, those are wrong translations of those verses. They say that Messenger Isa was lifted alive to the heavens. Physical beings can't go beyond this earth. We all know it. And Allah doesn't have to do that. At a self level, we can go beyond this planet Earth. For example, sitting here, I can think of any universe. I can think of all galaxies, which essentially means my thoughts are not confined within the geographical entities or boundaries. I don't know how you think, but I would like to listen to your point. Are you convinced what I have said?
Well, I take it as what you've said, and as I did write in the later comment after so many comments, I did say that regardless of end times, it was still my responsibility to sit here and to read the Quran and to listen to these presentations and to gather information so that I can actually improve myself, so that under any circumstances, whether I'm in the end times or I'm far from it, at some point, yes, my body does go, and I have to consider that my life in the hereafter is the important trajectory. So the end times was a distraction, but that's probably because I got tripped up on the word zero. And I don't believe that when I came to Islam, I was at zero, because yes, you could read my Christian upbringing from my comments. But like I said, regardless of the end times, my responsibility now is to continue to study, to fathom, and to gather what direction I have from the Quran and what Allah permits.
No, it's excellent. No, I got your comment, and another point which we should be very clear is that in sectarian Islam they have this kind of false belief that every child is born Muslim. No, no child is born Muslim, and they also say it is in the nature of every child or every human being to be Muslim or something. It is again wrong. There is no nature. Human beings don't have a nature. We all come with a flat slate. You accepted Islam. I'll not say you converted to Islam. I don't like this conversion and reversion and these type of terms. You accepted Islam the way I also accepted Islam. Despite being born Muslim, I rejected all those sectarian versions of beliefs because those were all, I don't want to use derogatory terms, but those were soul-destroying beliefs. So we all accept Islam at some point in time, as Quran says about the last messenger as well. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. That you were looking for guidance, we gave you guidance. If you were not looking for guidance, the last messenger wouldn't have got guidance. The same is true of the messenger Musa and other messengers. There was no born messenger of Allah. They all accepted Islam, Allah's deen, at some point in time. For example, if we were born Muslims, then Messenger Yaqub's sons wouldn't have behaved the way they behaved. Yusuf accepted Islam through his own choice. So we have a tremendous attribute, should I say trait, provided to us at a very basic level as a child, that we all have a choice. And at some point in time, you also questioned the system in which you were born, Christian or whatever it is. You are not happy with that, and a step change came to you at some point where you accepted Islam. And then again you came to our platform. I know Bindu Bhan asked you to come here. You know, we get impatient that we are on Allah's side and suddenly our prayers should be accepted, and we forget that everything follows laws. So that is the position. So none of us was born as a Muslim. And we are not reverting to that Islam which a child has. Child has no Islam. And I don't know if you have read the book. Have you read that book on slavery? I'll send you a PDF version of that. Okay, go through it. It's a small book which we translated, and in that whole of this issue of being born as a Muslim or doing blasphemy or doing this, what do they call, murtad? What do they call murtad as in English? So,
Apostate.
Apostate, yes, apostate, and all that is discussed. And that book explains that what is the mental state of these sectarian Muslims. They are in a terrible state, terrible subhuman level state they are. And they are doing a tremendous damage to themselves and also to the world in which we are living, because they are the custodians of Allah's book and they are doing nothing about it. So, right, go ahead, Brother Lionel.
No, I like to use the term critical mass because at any one point in time, there's a certain number of people who are actually accepting and trying to better themselves, but also to better understand what the message is. And Parvez has provided a very, very detailed, explicit elaboration on Deen, which I did not find anywhere else. I did not look for that. But then when I started hearing about it through your presentations and reading some of his books, I realized, oh, this is actually a clearer path for me. So I basically keep on thinking that if everybody aligns himself with the idea that at some point there'll be more of us than them, or that the more of us will have more power because Allah invested it in us, then we have quite a lot of reason to hope.
That's right. I didn't touch these subjects or topics earlier. Once you came to this platform, and I knew that it will take time because some of the things which we discuss over here, these are mostly related to human psyche. And we take time to grow out of our previous past. And that is important for us. As long as we stick to this path and look at the man-made world and think that I have a choice, all of us have a choice to go back to where we were and leave the Quran on one side and say, I don't want this book. So we can make that choice. But the question which should come to us is, then what? If there is no life of the hereafter, then that's a good choice actually, because Quran is putting some restrictions on us in terms of our self-development. But if we think that there is a life at self's level which will go beyond death, then we are making a bad choice. Because if we go for that choice, essentially we are saying that I'm quite happy that my life ends with death. And I have come across these people who say that what you are saying, Ijaz, it's not for me. I'm quite happy the way my life is. So it is not trying to convince anyone, but you have seen that my whole effort is because I claim to have understood this formula of the Quran, that we can get power in some piece of land on this planet Earth using the Quran, because it is Allah's earth. It doesn't belong to any human being. It doesn't belong to Trump or Putin or Xi or any of these guys. It belongs to Allah all the time. His sovereignty, His ownership will always remain in His hand. Once we understand that, all of us on this platform, then it gives us that tremendous boost, that tremendous inner strength which says, I will not leave the rope, the sport of that one who owns this planet. And still I maintain my own choice. And this is the beauty of this platform and of the Quran, that we all along keep this choice. And this choice is going to stay with you and me even in the hereafter. And if we enjoy the pleasure and association of each other over here, the beauty of this relationship is that if we unite our hearts, this will continue in the hereafter. This will not be bound by any serial time. This will grow out of it and goes to the next. So these kind of things I have understood myself from the study of the Quran, by following it, by spending time into it. And the pleasures which are associated with this kind of a psyche, we can never ever find those pleasures and joys and euphoria within the biological relationships.
Thank you. Brother Lionel.
So my view to everyone is that if you find anywhere where you find that you want to discuss something, please feel free to talk to me on a one-to-one basis as well.
Some of the responses I could read in English, but the ones in Urdu were beyond me.
No, there was nothing there. There was nothing nasty there or anything. All they said was, because they have read Pervez, they said that Messenger Isa is not coming back. Their comments were fair, but that is why I sent a message to you directly that it is better that don't participate anymore.
I didn't want to dip into water where I couldn't swim.
Can I say something?
Yes, please. Then we go to Brother Zan.
So, Brother Lionel, as far as I know from Pervez understanding of Quran, Hazrat Isa was equally honored, respected messenger of God as Muhammad. And since he was very, very respected, the people over there who they were Jews or whoever they were, they wanted to hang him. But with the grace of Allah, he got the message on time, and he left with his companions. So they wanted to disgrace him by putting him on the cross and giving him a painful and like a disgraceful death. But he didn't get that, because he left with his companions. Thank you.
Now that is very good, Ben Tahira. So once we come to his life, then we will go through all the details on him.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your
No, it's a pleasure.
airing this out.
And I must thank you for being part of this whole experience.
Right. We'll go to Zain.
Quran is very strict about punishments, and that is why there are very few punishments in the Quran.
Yes,
Quran is about reformation.
Right.
And for example, this verse which I quoted, La taqnatu min rahmatullah, and
my question is actually on the same topic as the punishment.
I'll read that for everyone's. Qul ya ibadi alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim, that who have exceeded against their own selves. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. They should never ever be hopeless about the rahmat of Allah, because you have done something wrong. Now you have become mu'mineen. Inna Allaha la yaghfiru dhunuba jamia. Every zamb, everything which you have done in the past after becoming mu'min, that is erased. Jamia, the word has appeared. Innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. The thing is, as a mu'mineen, it is our duty to become that human being who understands his Allah as a model, the way Quran wants me to understand my Allah or our Allah. That is why this book, the last chapter of Human Self and Allah, we should read it few times. This is what bir means. We have left human companionship now. We are companion of Allah. And if we want to be his companion and start displaying, we have to understand and bring Allah with his infinity and his all attributes into our psyche. Give it this space and then let it keep expanding, not become a hurdle in its expansion. And this is one of the aims of our platform over here. There are a lot of things which I haven't shared with you, nothing mystic about it. But Quran wants us to write in this word to enter the life of the hereafter at that highest possible level, which it says khulqun azim in the case of the Messenger of Allah, that he fulfilled everything which was related to justifying his own existence as a human being for which he was created by Allah. So Allah is placing it in our hands, and this is the aim of this platform of all of us. Just think over it, what I have said. So there is not going to be any time in our lifetime on this platform that Quran will not expand further. It will keep expanding as we will keep going into it. And without that, without becoming khulqan azim, we cannot get power from Allah. Without becoming an ummah in ourselves, we cannot get power from Allah. And which means that poor human sister of ours will be raped across the world in every part of this land. And Allah is not going to do anything. All these Palestinians, men and women who are being raped as well, you know it, they're going to be killed as long as we do not stand up for them. And this book is to stand up for them on behalf of Allah. So in a way, you can say that Allah himself is handicapped by his own book and his own laws, but we are not. Allah doesn't have a choice. Allah can't directly interfere. But you and me on this platform have a choice whether to work for him or not. And even if we are working with him, we have a choice that how much bir we want to acquire on this platform. And I'm repeatedly inviting everyone to please expand your vision with me. And I'm coming back every Sunday with more added to it, with more expansion, with more to that. Because I'm 100% committed to this path. even if what I mean is I don't
Thank you.
want to use which
जी,
I've
जी,
used
जी.
a lot of negatives previously, but
Thank you, Ijaz bhai. Saima
so
beta.
my view is that we
Yeah.
should all in our own individual moments to reflect, pause and reflect, pause and reflect. Are we willing to stand up for Allah in this world to prevent these crimes by asking for power in the land, by making ourselves eligible for that?
जी साइमा जी.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम।
जी साइमा, क्या हाल है?
जी ठीक हूँ। मैंने पूछना था कि आप ज़रा सिंपल वर्ड्स में कसस के बारे में दोबारा बता देंगे एग्जैक्टली क्या कसस की मीनिंग है?
कसास का जो नॉर्मल
थैंक यू।
मीनिंग है ना, अभी हम उर्दू में बात कर सकते हैं। कसास का नॉर्मल मतलब होता है, एक्चुअली इफ यू लुक एट द कसास, कसास का रूट वही है जो किस्से कहानियों का भी है। कसास कसास ऑल्सो मीन्स दैट यू एंड मी आर राइटिंग आवर ओन ऑटोबायोग्राफी as well as we are going through it. For example, the level to which we have discussed today is part of sharing our own story. So when crime happens, it also creates a story, isn't it? कहानी बनती है ना वहाँ पे।
हाँ
जैसे
जी।
हमास ने भी तो एक कहानी बताई है ना, तो वो जब उसमें आएगा अखबार में तो कहानी आएगी। तो कुरान ये कह रहा है कि ये जो कहानी बनती है ना, इस कहानी को सीरियसली लो एंड परसू इट। तुम्हारे सामने एक कहानी आई है, एक स्टोरी आई है, एक इवेंट हुआ है, उसको पूरा इन्वेस्टिगेट करो और डोंट लेट इट गो टिल द टाइम यू हैव कम टू द एंड ऑफ दैट होल इन्वेस्टिगेशन। सो कसास मीन्स टू परसू some crime which has taken place in the land and look at every aspect of that crime, psychological as well as physical. So this is
Okay.
what qasas means. So kutiba alaikum qasas है ना word. तो वो ये कह रहा है कि ये कसास तुम्हारे ऊपर फर्ज किया गया है कि ऐसे ही ना पास से गुजर जाओ। इट ऑल्सो मीन्स दिस कि दुनिया में इतने जुर्म हो रहे हैं, तो तुम्हें कुरान दिया अल्लाह की किताब, तो तुम कसास कर रहे हो, उसको परसू कर रहे हो कि ये क्यों हुआ है, मेरी क्या जिम्मेदारी है?
सही।
You get my point? अभी फॉर
हाँ
एग्जाम्पल
जी।
आई एम श्योर यू आल्सो फेल्ट इट। जैसे वो शकील साहब की भी बात हमने की है, तो शकील साहब की भी तो एक स्टोरी है ना।
जी बिल्कुल।
तो उसको आप कसास कर रही हैं ना, कि आपने कहा है कि जी मैं उसको डील कर लूंगी,
हाँ जी जी।
है ना। और वो ही इज ए विक्टिम ऑफ द सोसाइटी। अगर हम उसको वहीं छोड़ देते हैं, कहते हैं मेरा मसला नहीं है, तो फिर हमने कसास नहीं किया, ना इसे समझा।
जी सही।
तो बिल्कुल गुड क्वेश्चन है आपका। सो कसास मीन्स दैट a crime has been committed, some event has taken place, we should pursue it and look into it from both physical point of view as well as the psychological point of view and investigate it. And don't rest till the time we come to the end, and the person who has done that, the person who has created a story in that, or should I say he has added to his own life story by committing that crime, he should be sorted out. And how should we sort it out? If there is a chance of reformation, then we should reform him. दुनिया में आपने देखा होगा लॉकअप करना बड़ा इजी होता है, इट्स वेरी इजी। बट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाई डिड ही और शी डू इट, वो मुश्किल काम है ना, उसमें एफर्ट बनानी पड़ती है।
जी।
एक दफा गरीब कोई आपको नजर आया है अभी सड़क के ऊपर, आपने उसे पाउंड दे दिया या 10 रुपए दे दिए, वो इजी बात है। उसके बाद आपने कहा मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, उसकी जिम्मेदारी लेना जो है ना, वो प्रॉब्लम है।
हाँ जी।
वो प्रॉब्लम है, और उससे घबराते हैं इंसान, और जो उससे घबराते हैं ना, उनको कुरान नहीं समझा, उनको पावर नहीं मिल सकती इन द लैंड। ये आप ये याद रखें, क्योंकि मेरी तो सारी एफर्ट ये है ना कि हमने पावर लेनी है, और पावर हमें मिल नहीं सकती अगर हम इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे जो मेंबर्स हैं हमारे, वो इन चीज़ों के साथ डील नहीं करते इंटेलेक्चुअली। दे डोंट मेक इट पार्ट ऑफ देयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दैट आई वांट टू बी द कंपेनियन ऑफ अल्लाह एंड आई विल स्टे ऑन दिस पाथ। तो ये है। तो कसास में ये चीज़ें भी आ जाएंगी कि आप परसू करो किसी चीज़ को टिल द टाइम यू फाइंड अ सोल्यूशन टू दैट एंड सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम। अगर आपने पनिशमेंट देनी है, दें उसको पनिशमेंट, अगर इफ़ इट इज़ नीडेड, दैट इफ़ बिकॉज ऑफ द फियर ऑफ पनिशमेंट ही मेंट्स हिमसेल्फ। But a lot of people mend themselves if we reform them, we train them, we let them go through a process of। अमेरिका में एक बड़ा अच्छा था, मैं आपको एग्जांपल एक देता हूँ इंटरेस्टिंग। मैं अमेरिका जब कोर्स पे गया फोर्ट बैनिंग में जॉर्जिया में, तो उधर वो ट्रैफिक वायलेशन पे उनकी पनिशमेंट थी टू अटेंड 1 hour or 2 hours ऑफ लेक्चर्स इन द इवनिंग फॉर 5 days. And lot of people preferred कि उनको फाइन हो जाए, क्योंकि for 5 days they were committed to go in the evening, every evening, and go and watch films or movies on traffic, not to do traffic violations. So this is another way of reforming human beings.
हाँ जी.
You get my point? फॉर एग्जाम्पल बच्चों को मैंने ये पनिशमेंट उस वक्त मेरी कुरान की इतनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं थी. If they used to make some mistake, so I used to ask them to write it down for 50 times that I will not do it.
सही.
And they didn't do it again. And this kind of punishment we had as cadets in military academy, that the officer will ask us to write it down 100 times or 200 times. And that's quite a severe punishment, writing the same sentence again and again.
Thank you.
We should avoid practicing that, but we should tell children that the wrong they do it, we should make them sit down. We should explain to them psychologically and tell them that the law of requital says, don't make these mistakes again because these harm yourself. And then we should explain to them what self is. Because once it goes into their mind, they will never, human mind is very, very powerful entity. If it goes into subconscious, then it helps us to stay away from negatives.